Hi and welcome to this training video. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate a simple baseline concussion assessment. Baseline concussion assessments are useful to compare a post-injury score to a pre-injury score, which helps you determine how the athlete is healing and when it is safe for them to return to normal athletic and scholastic involvement. There are a number of assessment tools available. They combine elements of different assessments, which may include a medical history, a symptom checklist, balance and coordination, delayed and immediate recall, concentration, vestibulo-ocular function, or some combination of these. No one single tool has been identified as the best tool. Therefore, ones that have multiple components to them are the most sensitive and specific for detecting a concussion. Concussions affect many parts of the brain, so you may have resolution of all the symptoms in one area, such as concentration, but still have problems with balance, which is why it is important to assess both sides. Today we'll be demonstrating the Sport Concussion Assessment Tool 3rd edition, also known as the SCAT3. This has been validated for athletes who are 13 years of age and older. If you're going to be assessing younger children, you should use the child SCAT3 form, which is very similar, but has a few minor differences in the symptom checklist and also the sideline Maddox score. While you're watching this video, you should have a copy of it ready for your reference so that you can follow along. The SCAT3 tool has detailed instructions with scripts for you to follow on the 3rd page so that each time you do the assessment, it is consistent. Other materials that you will need during this are a timer, something to write with, a medium density foam pad that's at least 16 by 16 inches square, a chair, and a spotter for balance recovery. The first page of the tool is used post-injury, so we will not be demonstrating it today. The most important point of the first page is that any athlete suspected of a concussion should be immediately removed from play and should not return to play the same day as the injury. Concussions are a metabolic injury on the cellular level, and it can take hours to even 2 or 3 days for the symptoms to fully manifest. So if you return an athlete to play, they're at risk for further injury and for a prolonged recovery time. The second page begins with a limited, pertinent health history. This includes components such as previous concussions, headaches, learning disabilities, ADHD, anxiety, depression, and any medications that the athlete may be on. Athletes who have had a previous concussion are at greater risk for an additional concussion and will likely have a more prolonged recovery the second time. Section 3 is the symptom checklist. Have the athlete complete this checklist after they have rested for at least 10 minutes post-exercise. This is designed for the athlete to rate the presence and severity of 22 symptoms on a scale of 0 to 6. You will score the total number of symptoms as well as the total of the severity scales. This checklist is filled out pre-injury in order to determine baseline presence of symptoms that can manifest after a concussion. For example, an athlete may have difficulty with concentration pre-injury, and that is important to know so that you can assess how much the injury has impacted that. The next section is the cognitive assessment. We'll be asking some orientation questions first, and then memory and recall, and concentration. For this, I'm going to have my model, Ethan, join us. Ethan, thank you for joining me today. I'm going to start out by asking you a few questions. What month is it?
October.
What is the date today?
The 8th.
What is the day of the week?
Saturday.
What year is it?
2016.
And what is the time right now?
I do not know.
How about the hour?
4.
Close enough. For the immediate memory and concentration assessments, you're going to have a series of words and numbers that you'll be reading. You should read each at a pace of 1 word or number per second. For the immediate memory test, a list of the same 5 words will be read 3 times, and you will score 1 point for each correct word. Ethan, I'm going to test your memory. I will read you a list of words, and when I am done, I want you to repeat them back to me in any order, all the ones that you can remember. Elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, bubble.
Go.
Yep.
Elbow, apple, carpet, bubble.
Okay, I'm going to repeat the same list again. Repeat back as many words as you can remember in any order, even if you said the word before. Elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, bubble.
Elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, bubble.
Good. And the last time. Elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, bubble.
Elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, bubble.
Good. So you would get a total score of 14 out of 15 for this since you missed one word in the first section. For the first assessment of concentration, I'll be giving a string of numbers, 1 second per number, and then he will be asked to repeat them in reverse order. With each string of numbers, we'll add a digit, and if he fails to do the first set of those, we give him an alternate list of numbers, and if he fails that, then the test is over. But if he passes the second one, then we score a point and move on to the next one. Ethan, I'm going to read you a string of numbers, and when I am done, you repeat them back to me backwards in reverse order of how I read them to you. For example, if I say 719, you would say 917. 493.
394.
3814.
4183.
It's a little harder than you think. 62971.
17269.
Okay, let's try the alternate set. 15286.
68521.
Nope, not quite. So for that set, he got 2 strings correct, and he would get a total of 2 points for that segment. Now I'm going to have you tell me the months in reverse order. Start with the last month and work forward. So you'll say December, November. Go ahead.
December, November, October, September, August, July, June, May, April, March, February, January.
Very good. For that portion, they receive 1 point if they do the entire sequence correctly, 0 if they make any mistakes. Section number 5 is the neck assessment, which is most useful post-injury, so we will not be demonstrating that as part of this video. It is just an assessment of the neck range of motion, any tenderness in the neck and upper back muscles, as well as whether the strength is symmetrical in the upper and lower extremities. Section 6 of the exam is the balance error scoring system, also known as the BESS test. For this, you will need your foam pad that is at least 16 by 16 inches, perhaps larger, a stopwatch, a chair, a spotter, and something to write with. Your person that you're assessing will need to be barefoot, no ankle tape, no ankle braces. Balance will be assessed in 3 stances, both on a firm surface and then on the padded surface. For each of the 6 20-second intervals, you will be scoring for a maximum of up to 10 error points. Things that count as an error include moving out of position, which would be moving the hands off the hips, opening their eyes, swinging the leg further than 30 degrees away from the body, stepping, stumbling, or simply falling out of position. If they have multiple errors at once, such as a stumble where they pull an arm away and open their eyes at once, that only counts as 1 error. And you should not resume counting until they've moved back into the position. Moving out of the test position for more than 5 seconds also counts as an error, and if they're unable to maintain the test position for any 5-second span, then the maximum score of 10 error points is assessed for that section. Minor errors such as little ankle wobbles or a little shoulder wiggle or lifting just the toes off but not the entire forefoot do not count as an error. The average scores for baseline assessment on the BESS for an adult is 12 errors out of the 6 sequences. For younger children, ages 9 to 11, the average is a little higher at 18. And for children that are 12 to 14, it's closer to the adult range of about 13. You'll notice on the SCAT3 form that it only has space to do 1 set of scores on either the firm or the padded surface. However, the BESS test, when it's done as a standalone test, uses both sets of assessments, which adds validity and reliability to this assessment. So for the purposes of today's assessment, I'll be demonstrating both. I'm now going to bring my subject Ethan in so we can demonstrate this. Okay, Ethan, thank you for joining me today, and Alan, thank you for being the spotter. I'm now going to test your balance. You already have your shoes off and I can see your ankles, so we can go ahead and get going. This test will consist of 6 20-second tests with 3 different stances on 2 different surfaces. I will describe the stances as we go along. The first stance is with your feet together, and you'll be standing with your hands on your hips with your eyes closed. You should try to maintain stability in that position for an entire 20 seconds. I will be counting the number of times you move out of this position. For example, if you take your hands off your hips, open your eyes, take a step, lift your toes or heels, and if you do move out of the testing stance, simply open your eyes, regain your balance, and get back into the testing position as quickly as possible and close your eyes again. Okay, I'm going to have you put your feet together, put your hands on your hips, and when you are actually ready, close your eyes and your testing time will begin. Mark, set, go. Stop. Okay, for the single leg stance, if you were to kick a ball, which foot would you use? Your right? Okay, for this, I'm going to have you stand on your other foot, your non-dominant foot. Okay, I want you to raise your right leg with your hips slightly flexed and your knee bent, hands on your hips. And when you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes and I'll start the time. Start. Stop. Now stand heel to toe with your non-dominant foot in the back. So that's going to be your left foot. Your weight should be evenly distributed across both feet. Again, you should try to maintain stability for 20 seconds with your eyes closed. I will be counting the number of times you move out of this position. Place your hands on your hips, and when you close your eyes, your testing time will begin. Start. Stop. Now we're going to repeat these stances, but on this foam pad. Okay, let's start with the double leg stance again, with your feet close together, hands on your hips, and when you're ready, close your eyes and I'll start the timer. Start. Stop. Okay. Next, we're going to do the single leg stance. So stand on your left foot again with your right knee and hip slightly flexed. When you're ready, put your hands on your hips, and then close your eyes once you have your balance, and we'll go ahead and start the timer. Start. Stop. Now we'll do the tandem stance with your left foot in the back. Are you ready? Put your hands on your hips and close your eyes when you're ready. Start. Stop. Section number 7 is another coordination assessment. This is called the finger to nose test. The person will need to do 5 repetitions in a matter of 4 seconds correctly, hitting their nose and your finger each time. Ethan, I'm going to test your coordination now. Please sit comfortably on the chair with your eyes open and your arm outstretched, pointing in front of you, like this. When I give a start signal, I would like you to perform 5 successive finger-to-nose repetitions using your index finger to touch the tip of your nose and then my finger as quickly and accurately as possible. Ready? Go. Very good. So the final portion of this exam is the delayed recall. Do you remember that list of words that I told you earlier? I'm going to have you tell me as many of those 5 words as you can recall in any order.
Apple, bubble, carpet, saddle. That's it.
That's it? Okay, so he's going to get 4 out of 5 points on this segment. The last page of the SCAT3 assessment has a space for notes, a scoring summary, some warning signs to watch for, and a bit of brief advice on return to play. You have learned from this training seminar how to perform a basic orientation assessment, cognitive assessment, balance and coordination assessments, which are appropriate for a baseline screening assessment. Ideally, this assessment should be completed every 1 to 2 years, and copies of the form available to the athlete, their parents, and their coaches so that if an injury occurs, a ready comparison can be made. Remember, every concussion is a brain injury. Education about prevention and the signs and symptoms of it are key to reducing the harm from this injury.